woman I've ever spoke to, come across, worked with, and I've asked her, why do you want to make a lot of money? What is this going to do for you? The number one answer I always get, I want to take care of my family.
Welcome to the Breadwinner Energy podcast. This is your host, Tay Daniels, mama, wife, multi-business owner, and creator of the Breadwinner Energy movement. In this podcast, we're all about changing women's lives, especially those who did not grow up with perfect circumstances, by helping them step into their highest self era, break free from society's expectations, and become a force to be reckoned with. We help women embrace their powerhouse, most authentic energy, cultivate inner peace, and call in everything she has ever wanted in life. So if you're ready to become the breadwinner of your own life, join me on this journey of transformation, empowerment, and abundance.
Welcome back to another episode of the Breadwinner Energy podcast. Hello, we are back with episode 2 of season 4. And this topic has been a topic of most of my life, and it has only continued as an adult. And I think that it's really important to bring awareness to this topic, but this is ultimately why Breadwinner Energy was created to begin with, was because of this topic. And I truly want to make massive change in the world for women, and for women to feel like they are allowed and have permission to be exactly who it is that they want to be. And I want to talk today about breaking the norms, the society norms that have been put on women, and why you should truly live a life for yourself. Like, truly do what you want to do, say what you want to say, live the life you want to live, because you can't win. You can't win regardless. You can't win regardless of what you choose to do. You will always be wrong, or you'll always be going against the grain in somebody's eyes. So you might as well just live a life for yourself. In today's episode, I want to talk about breaking free as a woman from society norms. And maybe I know some of my audience, you're not a woman, even though outside of my husband, right? Like, of course he's watching for support, but outside of my husband, I know there's other people watching this podcast or who have been tuning in, who have talked to me on social media, and maybe you're not a woman, but you resonate with the message. You resonate with maybe even being an outcast, or feeling like not enough, or being told by society that you should be something completely different. Maybe you identify with more of your feminine energy. I mean, everyone has feminine and masculine energy regardless of gender, but this is also for you too, right? Like, this is collectively for this group of people who are in the online space, who are in the online business space, and you have felt like for years, for your life, for being in this space, that you are just kind of fitting in. Like, you're just kind of doing enough to fit in. You're doing enough to make everyone around you happy. You're doing enough to, kind of please other people, but you're not truly stepping into your authentic energy. You are not truly stepping into who you're meant to be, because you're afraid of what people will say about you. From a very young age, I was always told, you're too much, you're too loud, you're too emotional, you're too everything, you talk too much, you're bragging. At one point in my older life, it was that you're bragging, and stop telling people what you're doing, and stop telling people about your business, and stop telling people you're the breadwinner, and stop telling people how much you make. And I think for a very, very long time in my younger life, it really kind of molds you, right? It really makes you take this look at yourself of why is everyone around me bothered by me just being who I am? A really good way to see if this is you is if you have younger children, specifically maybe daughters, who are maybe too emotional, too sensitive, too loud, talk a lot, to see if they trigger you. If they trigger you, there's probably a reason, because maybe in your younger years, you were told the same thing. You were told to sit down, be quiet, go in the corner, make sure no one sees you, don't bring attention to yourself, don't have opinions, don't have a voice, don't do anything, essentially, but simply exist, right? And I think that narrative is so toxic to women, because then it forms this ideology that women shouldn't have opinions, right? And one of the biggest things that this comes into is finances, right? There has been for years laws against women getting credit cards and getting loans and the way that women handle finances. I mean, even to this day, there's investors that will not work with women-owned companies unless they have a male on, their CEO panel or what have you. And it just blows my mind. It wasn't until I think in like the 70s that women could actually get credit cards without men being on the credit card with them. And I think it plays into this narrative that like women are incapable of like being their own person, right? They're incapable of having a lot of money or expressing that. And so in my earlier business years, this was probably, I was coaching at the time, so this is probably like 3 years ago. I was told, stop telling people you're the breadwinner. It's offensive to your husband. Stop telling people how much money you make by family members. And it really, I'm not going to lie to you, it really pissed me off because I built Breadwinner Energy for this specific reason. So that women could make a lot of money. Women could voice how much money they make. Women could talk to anyone about anything that they're doing. Women could be exactly who they wanted to be and not have to be afraid of being too much or too loud or too emotional or too rich. And when I was told this, it really took me back to like, this is exactly why I built the brand. Because even today, in today's society where it's more normalized that women make money, make a lot of money, own businesses, or even the breadwinners, it's still this thing, right? It's still a thing of don't make money, don't tell people how much money you make. And I totally understand, like outside of the business world, the online business world, it's taboo to talk about how much money you make. But I'm a firm believer when you're willing as a woman to step into your power, you're truly who you are, and you're willing to tell other women how much money you make and how you make that amount of money, you're only carving the path for other women to make money. You are carving the path for other women to say, if she can do it, so can I. And that has been the entire mission of Breadwinner Energy, is to lead by example, to be a woman who walks first, who has gone through the things, to be every reason why I shouldn't have success and still going after success. And when I can tell women, look, you don't need a college degree. You don't need to come from money. You don't have to have all the things. You don't have to have the perfect credit. Like, you don't have to have all these things in order to be successful. It paves the way for other women to believe in themselves and that they can have this too. But if I were to sit back and say, you know what, I'm not going to talk about money. I'm not openly going to share my journey, my experience, how much money I make and how I've made it, then I am doing other women a disservice, right? And I think that even now, there's women telling other women in the online space with businesses, don't show off. Don't tell people how much money you make. And my question to you is why? Why are we paving that narrative for other women to, again, be quiet, to be less than, to not brag, to be more humble, when in reality, you being willing to share and be vulnerable about the things that you've done and where you've come from and how you've done it, you're only inspiring and empowering other women to know that they can have the same things. But if you're continuing to play into this narrative, if you're the person telling other women to be quiet, to not stand in their power, to not show off, which is so crazy to me that it is called showing off. Like, that is wild to me. But we have to remember that that's someone else's perspective of what they know. And if they perceive it as showing off, the only thing that says is their perception, and it has absolutely nothing to do with you, that they're projecting that you openly sharing is showing off, right? And so I think that we have to stop this narrative in order to collectively, as women, be able to be breadwinners inside and out. And when I started Breadwinner Energy, this was the exact thing that I had told my coach in that room was, I want women to live a life where they're unapologetic, where they can openly express that, yeah, I have a nanny and I drive a nice car and I live in a brand new home and I have a maid and I make seven figures. And I think that there's so many women who are put in this place of like shame and guilt of like, as a woman, you should be taking care of your kids and you should be cleaning your house every day and like barefoot and pregnant. And I'm just like, it's mind-blowing that it's not as accepted that women, first of all, can do whatever the fuck they want to do. but that they can spend their money however they want to spend it. And when you choose as a woman to go out and make a lot of money, and you choose to do things with your money that allow you more time and more energy to be a better wife, to be a better mother, to be a better business owner, and then you go out into the world and you share that with other women to give them choices and then them options that they never thought they could have, you are making massive impact on other women's lives. But when you continue to play into this narrative of don't tell people how much money you make, don't make a lot of money, don't make more than your husband, don't be the breadwinner, don't tell people you're the breadwinner, don't get a nanny, don't get inconvenience yourself in order to keep everyone else around you happy, you become burnt out, you become exhausted, you become unhappy, you shrink down and shrink yourself to fit in. And I can tell you, let's just start here, as a wife, if you're not willing to truly stand in your own power and use your own voice, you will lose your happiness, right? If you as a mother are not willing, again, to stand in your power, to take care of yourself first, you can't be a good mother because you're burnt out and you're unhappy and you're angry and you're yelling at your kids and you're exhausted. And then when you go out to be a business owner in a capitalism world and you have to be in your masculine energy, but you also want to be in your feminine energy because you're also a mother and a wife and a woman, you are then up against this battle of who you think you should be and what the world and society has told you to be versus who you actually want to be. And when you do that, you stunt your own growth as a business owner. You make less money. You are deeply unhappy and sometimes burn out, and then women quit, right? And you are doing a disservice to everyone in the world that you were meant to go out and help. You were meant to go out and share your life and share your story and share your journey. And in return, you make a lot of money, but you're giving massive impact to people in the world. You're giving massive impact to other women. You are paving the way for those women. And so I want to challenge you today and for the rest of your life to stop doing what is expected of you. Stop doing what you're told to do by other people when you don't actually want to do that. Whether it is society, whether it is your family, your parents, your friends, your partner, whoever is putting these expectations on you, and maybe you're only putting them on yourself, I want to challenge you today to not do that. I want to challenge you today to decide, who do you want to be? Who are you? Other than if you were to take away the title of mother and you were to take away the title of wife and you were to take away the title of business owner, who are you? Who do you want to be? What kind of change do you want to make in the world? How much money do you want to make? And why do you want to make that amount of money? Because see, the thing is, almost every single woman, I want to say every woman I've ever spoke to, come across, worked with, and I've asked her, why do you want to make a lot of money? What is this going to do for you? The number one answer I always get, I want to take care of my family. The most in-service thing you could ever do with your money is to take care of other people, and that is always women's answer. So why are you not going out and making fuck you money? Why are you not going out and being unapologetically yourself in order to make a lot of money? Because when you make a lot of money, you do really good things in the world. Every woman that has come into my world has wanted to take care of her family, travel, be peaceful, pay off debt, set her children up for success in the future, create generational wealth for her family lineage. You want to make a massive impact, and they want to go out and help people in the world. What? You are being in service to everyone around you, and that should be every single reason you should go out and make more money and tell people about how much money you make and tell people how awesome you are and stand in your most authentic power, because you're wanting to make money for selfless reasons. Not selfish reasons. That's not bragging. That's not being too much, right? You're being in service to the world. And for you, I really, really want you to ask yourself, why am I continuing to be less, to play myself down, to not be exactly who I am in order to keep those around me comfortable, in order to keep those around me wanting to be around me? Because why do you want to surround yourself with people who don't want to love you and accept you for exactly who you are? And why are you playing small when you're doing a massive disservice to yourself and everyone else, right? If you standing in your power today means that other people will leave your life, maybe they weren't to be in your life to begin with. And why do you not want to go where you're truly loved, right? So from today moving forward, I want to challenge you here to live in your most authentic self, your most authentic power, to stand up for yourself, to do exactly what it is you want to do, regardless of what other people say or think about you. And I also want to challenge you to want more money, to want a bigger life, and to really dig deep and ask yourself, who am I when I'm not a mother, when I'm not a wife, and I'm not a business owner? And I want you to tell me, I want you to come over to Instagram at @itstdaniels_LLC once you have formulated your answer. And I want you to come and tell me, who are you when you're not those titles? And who are you going to start choosing to be? Okay? I also would love to ask all of you who are tuning in and listening, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, if you would please leave me a review. If you love our podcast, if you enjoy listening, you're tuning in. I know so many of you tune in all the time. You guys message me on Instagram. I literally love meeting all of you. It's so incredible to know that our mission and our voice and our impact is going across to other women, and it's like truly making an impact in your life. So if you could, please leave me a review. Don't forget to come over to Instagram and say hello to me. I do not bite. It's me in the DMs. Tell me what you liked about the podcast. Answer the question that I had just recently asked. And as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will talk to you on the next episode.